What's going on, guys? It's your boy Cinematic here, back at it again for another video, and I finally had the time to watch my most anticipated anime film, which is Clockwork Girl. And I want to talk more about this film, my thoughts about it and everything else. But yeah, this movie was just amazing, and I can't believe the fact that I actually got the time to finally get the chance to watch it. I've been anticipating this film for so long, and I finally went to the theaters to watch its debut global release. It released in sub and also in dub. There was 2 dates: November 11th releasing its sub debut and November 13th releasing its dub debut. So I decided to watch it in sub because I watch all of my animes in sub. But before I talk more about Clockwork Girl, please remember to support me by liking this video and subscribing to my channel. I would highly appreciate it. So just to start off, this anime was everything for anyone who's a fan of animes from the 90s to early 2000s. This had everything that would cater to that type of crowd. As you may know, Clockwork Girl is created by director Yasumi Umetsu, who is most known for his works with Kite and Mizo Forte. But his log of work goes as far as working on a bunch of other animes from the 80s to now. Now, I'm gonna try my hardest to make this spoiler free, so bear with me. The first thing I kind of noticed about this film is the fact that the animation is beautiful. From the environments to the aesthetics to the character design, I love how it kind of balanced a futuristic kind of visual style combined with like the modern day style environments. The story does take place in 2099, and it's not like I would say like Ghost in the Shell, where Ghost in the Shell is kind of like futuristic, cyberpunk themed. While this movie does preserve some cyberpunk elements, the movie blends together a gritty cyberpunk dystopia with biotech noir elements. Now, before the movie even starts, they show like a behind the scenes kind of look of the movie with the directors and producers talking about how they created Clockwork Girl, and that goes about for like about 10 minutes, I would say, before the movie finally starts, and thus the movie begins. And it starts off in an orphanage where you see a couple kids cheering for this newly designed robot that's dancing. You also see the owner of the orphanage, which is some old guy, and this is where the movie breaks loose, because honestly there was no slow parts in this movie. There was no kind of like in between filler where it would take a while for it to start. No, it kind of goes straight into the action. So in the first scene, after a while you see a big ass ship just fly by and 2 bounty hunters come down. One who's this weird ass creepy looking guy who is named Mr. Elegance, and his companion Maggie. When they both land in the orphanage, they immediately target their bounty, which is the old guy. He was the one taking care of the orphanage, and from there you see this old man running. You would think that this man is just a regular citizen, but no, his hand transforms into a gun because he is a samadhi. And what is a samadhi? A samadhi is a highly advanced bio-android technology, a kind of synthetic cellular system that integrates with the human body. It was originally created for medical purposes. So anyways, he starts trying to shoot the 2 bounty hunters, and mind you, the kids are just watching what's going on, so they're just shooting each other back and forth, and things get even crazier from there, because this is where the main character Ubu comes into play, because she's seeing everything happen with her own eyes. And mind you, this is a child, so basically for her to see all of this happening is pretty traumatizing. But it ends up all with Mr. Elegance sending a message to Ubu. After this, the movie fast forwards into 10 years later, where you see Ubu more grown and fully turned into a bounty hunter. She is not working with Mr. Elegance or Maggie. She is a lone wolf, so she hunts all of her targets by herself. As something happens along the lines of the second scene that shows the true character of who Mr. Elegance really is. Truthfully, he is basically the antagonist of the movie, but he doesn't really give that really harsh antagonist kind of vibe that most antagonists will perceive in any anime. Like honestly, Mr. Elegance was more or less just like a creep, to say the least, and the things that he was doing was pretty messed up. Like I would like to get into some details about some of the things that he was doing to Ubu, but I don't want to spoil anything. But seriously, the things that he was doing to Ubu was like, he was just a nut job. He did everything out of his satisfaction and fascination for a 14-year-old Ubu. Yes, He's that creepy, but he's one of the ones who's in charge of holding bounties for targets. That's when you later meet the following character, Louis Gowdy, who himself wanted to hunt down a bounty who was killing women and children. Now this is where I'm going to stop talking more or less about the whole basis of the movie, because if I was to talk more about it, then I would have to give some spoilers, and I do not want to do that in this video. I definitely do not. I definitely want you guys to check out the movie, because the movie is definitely worth watching. So now I'm just gonna give my personal thoughts about the movie itself, and from my interpretation, I thought the movie was amazing, but I do feel like it could have been a little bit more well written, for the following fact that I feel like there's a lot of things that are unanswered, and since this is a part 1 of the story, we don't know how many parts there will be, and also a lot of things are most likely going to be answered in the following future parts. Like there was this one bounty in the movie that was worth $1 million or something like that, and you only see him like once in the movie, but they were talking about the fact of how dangerous this bounty is and how he's over $1 million, and after that you just never hear about him again. Another thing that kind of annoyed me and disappointed me was the length of the movie. Now granted, this did start as like kind of basically an anime that's turned into a film, but come on, the movie ended in a flash of my eyes. I blinked and it was over. I was in the movies after it ended and I was just so disappointed. I wanted more. I expected more, especially since it ended in a cliffhanger. Yes, it ended in a cliffhanger, and I didn't know what to think after that. Mind you, after the credits it tells you to stay for some extras, and I'm watching the extras, which is pretty cool to watch behind the scenes, but I mean, I just wanted something that's gonna tell me like, yeah, part 2 is gonna be confirmed in the future, but we didn't get any of that. And this is a world where you could build so much upon its story of how interesting it is. Like I understand that Miso Forte and Kite were kind of like OVA movies, but at least they had a pretty good runtime. This movie alone only had like 35 or 40 minutes of runtime, so I feel like they had to squeeze a lot of things in to make sure that it fits this part 1 of this Clockwork Girl series. Like I really want more, and I want them to expand the universe. I want them to make this into an actual anime, like an actual episodic anime. It could be possible, but I do hope that we receive some type of sequel in the future or something along the lines of any type of news about it, that something is going to be coming out for it, because I was so locked in the theaters watching it. It was such a good movie from start to finish. It had a lot of action. If you're a fan of Miso Forte and Kite, you won't be disappointed, because it had a lot of those sexual themes, nudity that was presented in Miso Forte and Kite. So obviously Yasumi Umetsu, he knows what he's doing best when it comes to these type of art direction. But that's probably my biggest complaint about this movie, is the fact that the movie is so short. It ends in a blink of an eye and you just want more. Everything else about the film gave me goosebumps. I love the protagonist. It kind of reminds me of Gunslinger Girl in a way, especially with the character design and the main character, the way she's designed. But like I said, this is everything that an anime fan from the 90s and early 2000s would love. They would love this movie, especially if they love Miso Forte or Kite. This is definitely something to look forward to. Even though it was short, there's so much for the world to expand within the universe of Clockwork Girl, and I hope that in the future we definitely can see more updates of what Yasumi Umetsu is cooking along the lines of creating a sequel to Clockwork Girl. Apparently it did good. It had some good reception from audiences in Japan. Like I heard audiences were happy with the film, and it got some pretty good reviews, so I will hope that could mean a sequel for sure, but we never know until it actually gets confirmed. But yeah, this is basically my thoughts on Clockwork Girl. It's definitely something up the alley for every 90s, early 2000s anime fan, and even if you're not a fan of these animes, I feel like it can still cater to people who are really into action animes or gunslinging animes. But the thing is that this is a very adult themed film. Like I really feel like the new sensitive anime fans wouldn't be able to sit down and watch this anime because of the themes that are showing within this movie. If you ever get the time to watch Clockwork Girl, if it ever comes on streaming, if it ever gets a part 2, then you guys should definitely give it a chance. I would highly recommend recommend it. If I was to give it a review, I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. My only problem, like I said, is the fact that it's so short. If it wasn't so short and it did not end in a cliffhanger, I would have gave it a 10 out of 10, but unfortunately it is what it is, and that's just my thoughts in the movie. If you guys did get a chance to watch Clockwork Girl, let me know in the comment section, what did you guys think about the movie? Did you guys enjoy it? Did you guys not like the length of the movie? Did you guys like the characters? Let me know everything in the comments of how you feel about this movie, and please remember to support me by liking this video and subscribing to my channel. I will highly appreciate it. My name is Cinematic, and I'll see you guys in the next video.